Dude, check the news. It doesn't matter what channel.
Dudes kissing.
I don't think there's a bad episode of Smiling Friends per se, but in my mind, there's a very clear weakest one, and that would absolutely have to be Mr. President. I think that was probably intentional though, because the lack of jokes and consistent horror throughout most of the episode is precisely what makes the "is that fucking blackface" joke at the end land as hard as it does. Like, this thing terrified Pym out of his mind, and this is the resolution for how it's defeated? Chef's kiss of a joke. My biggest takeaway from Charlie, Pym, and Bill versus the alien is that I've clearly watched way too much red letter media in my life, cause even with significant filters applied, I could still distinctly pick out the cadence of Mike Stoklasa and Rich Evans' illustrious voices. It was an absolute delight to hear them, especially Rich since this was his first time on the show. Also, Jay was in this episode too apparently, but I didn't notice his voice. I'll put who he voiced on screen for your viewing pleasure. The rest of the episode has its moments. I like Jeremy. I like Charlie's grandma. I like when Satan gets pissed off at the use of Happy Holidays and his drink not coming with a straw.
Exactly what I wanted, actually. Cool.
Again, not bad. All of these episodes are not bad, even the president one. It's a crazy consistent show. Oh, that Jumbo, oh man, what a character. Oh my god. My favorite gag in the whole episode has got to be Spanish Pym and Charlie. Like, this is the kind of nonsense humor I live for. And the fact that it's completely pointless since Professor Psychotic understands what they're saying honestly makes the joke twice as funny. It's such a damn great comedic episode. I wasn't too hot on who violently murdered Simon S. Salty at first. I think when I first watched all of season 1, I singled it out as one of my least favorites of the season. I mean, I guess mathematically it still is one of my least favorites, but that's only because I like the other episodes more. All of these funny little mascots tried to murder Salty, but since he already died of a heart attack beforehand, technically none of them did and they can all go free. A nice, wholesome, happy ending after an investigation filled with insanity. Ketchup's line deliveries are fantastic, Salt and Pepper are genuinely sweet aside from the murdering thing. I see the Fun Twins story every time I close my eyes to sleep at night. It's great! I also have to give a special shout out to the Sentry Egg. I think about his delivery of cool f***ing backstory a lot, as well as Charlie's
Oh yeah, we will definitely go to China to bury you, man.
The obvious sarcasm in his voice is honestly made even funnier by the post-credit scene where they actually do go to China to bury him. Really top-notch stuff. Smormu clears Jumbo so hard it's ridiculous. If you're a Jumbo fan, I feel sorry for you. Your goat is washed. Have fun trying to return that $600 fake knife you bought from him, asshole. Man, f*** Mr. Boss. He was always my least favorite of the main characters anyway. I just never really found him as funny as the others. But when he fired Tyler, ooh, that tears it. After everything Tyler did for this company, he just gets unceremoniously tossed aside like that. I hate this asshole. I'm glad his son temporarily died. It's weirdly sweet to see them reunited, and the same is true for the boss getting over his xenophobia. On the more negative end of the spectrum, we have the girls fighting back at headquarters. Pretty strong episode, even if I'm still mad about the Tyler bit, like come on. He was such an integral part of the show, and he's just not in it anymore after this episode. I'm gonna be honest guys, I don't think I'm gonna watch season 3 if Tyler doesn't return. I've had enough of this show's shit. After season 1 was seemingly done airing, we were graced with a brand new special episode. The Smiling Friends go to Brazil. Ooh boy, they're embracing that online meme about going to Brazil, but it's somehow not cringe when they do it. Oh me oh my, what sort of wacky hijinks are they gonna get into in the funny meme country? I can only imagine. Turns out Pym forgot to book the hotel and they spend the entire 11-minute episode arguing about what to do next to salvage their vacation. Now, that's what I call subverting expectations, baby. Pym finally turns green. I don't really get that title. He doesn't become green with envy at any point. Maybe it refers to the toxic waste the dandelions grow out of, but they don't turn Pym green. Alright, whatever, who cares? This is a great one. Additionally, despite being named after Pym, this was ironically one of the best Charlie episodes by far. It felt unfair how many great jokes they gave him in this one. The boss stand-up bit, his enthusiasm for and subsequent depression over Bill Nye, his hilarious speech in the ending, his insistence that he was gonna punch the Yeti. Speaking of which, oh my god, that Yeti was the funniest part. I'll tell you what, that Yeti should do stand-up. I laughed, I cried, it moved me, Bob. I'm excited to see what season 3 has in store now that Mr. Frog is president and Rotten is the ocean? The entire ocean? The planet, maybe? Or is he just that wave? I don't know. Do you think Bill Nye's Ghost is gonna come back next season? I am obsessed with his stupid design and stupid voice. They are legitimately some of the funniest things I've ever seen. Hello, but I'm not sorry. Everything this guy does is just cartoonishly malicious, all as his demeanor remains laid back and dopey, which is what makes this plotline so hysterical and not cringe. I'm all for shows stepping away from blatantly hateful and offensive humor, but a bit of edge for the sake of comedy can be a good thing in a lot of cases. I could definitely see how the audience at the new Mr. Frog show would react with such fury at how sanitized the show has become. And the irony of this guy wanting a toxicity-free show, but hitting Glep, isn't lost on me either. Yeah, this guy sucks. I'm glad Mr. Frog ate him. But like, do I need to explain why Mr. Frog is so funny? The character is great, the Jimmy Fallon laughter is great, the design of Mr. Frog's stupid mansion is great. Everything comes together into an absolutely fantastic episode.
They make a magic potion that makes you forget about the Phantom Menace when you drink it. It's called bleach.
Gwimbly can be seen as a stand-in for so many different series. Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, Banjo-Kazooie, Rayman, just take your pick. And the CEO in this episode has kind of become the unofficial mascot of terrible, real-life gaming CEOs. If one of them makes a publicly bad decision, you better believe images of this nugget donkey motherfucker are getting spammed in the replies on Twitter. They just really hit the nail on the head with the main conflict of this episode. It's frustratingly true to life. What makes it even better is the fact that instead of Charlie, they pair Pim up with my favorite character, Alan. This episode really makes you wonder how and why he became a smiling friend in the first place, considering how much he seems to resent helping people. But that's what makes him a delight to have around. His reactions to everything going wrong in Gwimbly's life are so cold and so funny. I just love the guy. We shall never deny a guest, even the most ridiculous request policy. I really love how the solution to the problem here is just for Gwimbly to join Smash Bros. It makes me happy because it implies that Banjo and Kazooie are probably content with where they are in life right now. I mean, it would be cool if they got a new game too, but oh well, I guess not. That's fine, okay. And the absurdity of this quest is made infinitely funnier when we find out it was all orchestrated by the landlord. Like, this episode was already top tier to me. But this line right here is what enhances all of it to the point of being an absolute 10 out of 10.
The whole thing cost me $750,000 and over 8 months of planning.
He could have just used chloroform on Alan and brought him to the apartment to play Burnout Revenge on the PS2. But no, he did all this. A truly insane amount of work for no reason whatsoever. Because it's funny to us, the audience. This immediately endeared me to the landlord as one of the all-time best Smiling Friends antagonists. And that's before he even threatens to blow up the city with a bomb, unless Alan plays Burnout Revenge on the PS2 with him. I love how the game visuals, the weed, and the soda are all just real-life versions plopped in the animated world. Just, oh man, what a picture. You just get to see what random, wacky characters they can help in order to counteract the nasty effects of grim and gnarly. And all of this is punctuated by the arrival of Mip, the anti-Pim, whose hilarious voice and fantastic animation that perfectly evokes the animated Hobbit film make for an instantly iconic and memorable side character. It's like actually compelling seeing Mip acknowledge and regret how he's coming between Charlie and Pim. Like, it's refreshing to not have this character be a douchebag who's intentionally trying to drive the heroes apart. And this pretty strong story doesn't come at the expense of great gags. Charlie's insistence that aliens aren't sci-fi, the witch's surprising skill with chopping, the campfire scene between Charlie and Mip, and of course, you kiss your dad on the mouth. So, yep, that was the ranking. I also forgot to write an outro for this one. Just play a funny clip from the show or something.
This TV's old. This TV's old.
I want McDonald's.
Oh, those Smiling Friends. They're so kooky and funny. Wow.